Hello out there and welcome back to another Wisdom for the Weekend. It is Friday. It is beautiful here on the East Coast. Still summer and we are all still loving it so much. We had a little bit of a rainy day today, but overall it's really been a nice hot summer. Hope everyone that's listening, I hope you're all doing well and thriving. So today's episode, I'm going to be just talking about something that may not be one of the cheeriest things to talk about. Just recently, an acquaintance of mine had suddenly passed. And it wasn't anything where she was suffering or ill, not that we are aware of. So it happened pretty quickly and very suddenly. And also there were a group of women that put together a beautiful ceremony for her and lots of girlfriends coming together and celebrating her and with food and drink. And I was not able to be there, but they told me that it was just an amazing time with good friends. And, I think about this, and I think about this a lot, to be honest with you, maybe kind of morbid, but you think about this sometimes when you have a friend or family member close to you, become ill or pass on, and you have in the Catholic religion, we have wakes, and you have a wake and then the funeral, and people come from all over, people you haven't seen in so long, and they come to pay their respects. And maybe this is someone that they haven't seen in a long time. And I always think, well, if you had the money to fly here, when this person is now no longer with us, why didn't you have the time or the energy or the money to come when they were alive, like to be with them and to share like some fun times with? And I think about this beautiful gathering that happened, and I think about that, and I think, well, why aren't we celebrating life more? Like, I get celebrating someone's life after they have passed on, but why not? Why can't we have more parties? Why can't we celebrate a little more together? Why can't we have gatherings like this, like once a month or every other week, or in someone's home? Everyone brings something to eat. Someone bring the wine, someone bring whatever, the food. And why are we not in communion more? Do you know what I mean? It's like, you think that people live forever. They don't. And if there is someone that you haven't seen or spent time with, because listen, life, it's busy and everyone's so busy doing their thing. But this is my question for you. Are you just existing, or are you really living your life? And to me, living means sharing time with the people that you really care about and the people that you love. If you find yourself like working too much, 70 to 80-hour weeks, let me tell you something. When that day comes, oh, there's a deer that just popped up. When that day comes that you are laying and you are taking your last breaths, you are not going to be thinking, oh God, remember those days when I used to spend 80 hours a week in the office? Remember those days when I really hardly slept? Remember those days that I worked so hard? And forget it. Just live your life. Do not just exist. You are not put on this planet to exist and to just work day in and day out and like struggle and like hate hate your job. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who are listening who love their jobs. But let me tell you, when you see firsthand that life is very short, it can be a wake-up call for you. And to be honest with you, this summer I took so much time to be out with my girlfriends, connecting with them. The majority of my girlfriends live far from here. They live in different states. They live all over the world. And I took the time to fly, to be with them, to connect with them, to meet them, to drive, to be with them whenever we could. Or even spending the full day with them if they were going to be like in Manhattan or something like that. And so my question to you, for you to think about 3 people right now who you haven't seen, who you miss, who you love dearly, and call them, meet them. And even if they're local, listen, they're local people who you haven't seen, right? People in your, probably, they live 15 minutes from you and who you haven't seen just because you're so busy. Make the time. Make the time. You have time. There is time. Oprah has time. I know she's got a lot of assistants, but I always think about Oprah because she is a billionaire and she has time in her day to read and pick from her garden. I don't know. This is what I read. I don't know personally what she does, but you have time and you want to live your life fully, right? This is what I always talk about. It's like, are you fully living your life the way you want it to be and how you want it to feel and who is in your life and how much time you spend with the people that you love? So it's really, in the end, that's the most important thing. So can you think of 3 people that you haven't seen that you want to see and plan it? A weekend, book a trip, see them, stay with them, meet somewhere tropical, meet somewhere that you've never been and you just want to go and you want to meet them for the weekend. Book that trip. Use your points. Get a credit card that has points on it. I've talked about this before. There are ways. And drive to them. I mean, I don't know. How are they a couple of states away? I mean, big deal. You get in your car and you just drive to see them. Is it too far? Well, then kind of make it an adventure if you don't want to fly or if you have a fear of flying. I don't know. I think that we spend a lot of time like with busyness. We're always busy. And I think that you can clear up some of your calendar. This is a totally different topic for a different episode about hiring somebody to do some of your errands, to let go of some of that time. So then you have free time to do more productive things, rather standing online at Trader Joe's or the supermarket or, the grocery store or whatever it is, whatever, all of these busy things that fill up your time that you just say, I'm just so busy all the time. And make time for the people that really matter. It's so important. So let me get off my soapbox. And I'm going to plan, you know what I'm going to do? This is my plan. I've hung out with a lot of my best girlfriends in this whole summer. It's really been wonderful to connect with them. And I now do this app called Marco Polo, which if you don't know about it, I love it because I get to connect with my girlfriends who live completely on the other side of the US. They live on the West Coast, and I get to see them and their beautiful faces almost every day. And we get to connect. And yes, it's not in person, but I actually did see them all in person within the past month. So I think that's a great way to connect in between seeing your friends or your family. I think it's a nice thing. It's a way to continue the bond and to strengthen that bond. There's nothing like meeting someone in person though. So anyway, this is what I'm going to do. So I want to plan like a September, like a late summer a barbecue at my house, and with some girlfriends or at the beach. That's another place I love to go and have dinner and just sit there and bring food and wine and whatnot. And just doing more of that and just really being in community with my friends and my family. And obviously seeing my family, of course, is always a part of my life. And every week I see my parents and help them out here and there with whatever it is that they need. And, I really treasure those moments with them. So aside from having a party, I am also flying to see a cousin who just had a baby who lives in Atlanta. That's coming up. And then I'm seeing another really close girlfriend of mine. Here's a good example. We're meeting in Santa Fe. We're going to the Santa Fe Wine and Chili Festival. We already got tickets, and that's the end of September in Santa Fe. So she lives in Texas now, and we obviously don't get to see each other all that much, except, I did see her earlier this year. We went to Turks and Caicos together, and that was a great trip. So we plan trips together. We're both single. We don't have any children, so we have the freedom to be able to do that. And so we do fun things like that. And it doesn't have to be as elaborate as that. You can just pick even one night with a girlfriend and just going to see her would be awesome. This past weekend, I just went to visit one of my close girlfriends who has a house upstate New York close to the Catskills. And so I spent a night up there. It was really nice just spending time with her and her boyfriend. And it was just nice to get out of the city and out of, just visiting a totally different place. It poured rain the whole time, but it was still really, really nice. So I hope you all have the most beautiful weekend. Think about this. I don't mean to be morbid in any way. I just am here to bring you a little bit of wisdom and something that I learned after having this acquaintance pass so suddenly. So I hope you get to plan something really nice and think about a few friends and think about you know what? I'd love to visit her in the spring because that's such a beautiful time of year wherever that person lives or something like that. Or have them come visit you or have more little, I don't know, adult slumber parties. I don't know. I think that would be nice, like a spa day and a night somewhere at a hotel somewhere. I don't know, somewhere really cool, somewhere new, someplace new. And find a nice restaurant. I don't know. Everyone has, you have different preferences. So, I could keep going on and on about this stuff because I love traveling and I love, how can I plan? Where can we go? Who am I going with? And what exciting thing am I going to be experiencing next? It's kind of how I live my life. So, love to you all. Thank you so much for listening this week. And I will speak to you all in 2 weeks for another Wisdom for the Weekend. Bye for now.